Hola muchachos, quick video today, guys. We're going to be talking about Motorsport Games. If you don't know, they're the developers or publisher of the NASCAR games, will be the developers and publisher of the IndyCar games and BTCC coming out later this year. I thought this was an important video to make because it does talk about something that I've known for a little bit with how they made NASCAR 21 Ignition. And it was exciting, but then it looks like they've upped it. Real quick, want to give a shout out to all the Patreon supporters for always supporting the channel. We do have one new patron, Dylan Harvell. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon. Now let's get into this. Now, Motorsport Games has announced an increased partnership for the 2022 NASCAR season. And it says here in the article that Motorsport Games will gain unprecedented access to the NASCAR team, assisting in the development of its gaming franchise through a technical partnership. This partnership is with Live Fast Motorsports, who are the single-car Ford Mustang team competing full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series, the 78 car. The deal will advance the partnership between Motorsport Games and Live Fast Motorsports, co-owned by driver BJ McLeod and Matt Tifft, which began last year. The key word here is advance the partnership. So Motorsport Games has been sponsoring Live Fast Motorsports, and for NASCAR 21 Ignition, they did have some access to, like, you know, essentially like, hey, we need to make this car drive in a realistic fashion. Can you help us out with that? So like BJ McLeod would go in there and help them out with that. And so this is just an advanced technical partnership. So what this means is essentially they will have data telemetry, access to whatever, you know, Live Fast Motorsports wants to give them. That's not everything. Every team has their secrets, and, you know, they want to not let everything be known to the public. To all due respect to Live Fast Motorsports, I'm not really sure what secrets they have. They're usually running in the back of the field, with all due respect. I don't mean to say that in a bad way.
Yo, that one there was a violation. Personally, I wouldn't have it.
But, like, let's say, just in a hypothetical situation, let's say Motorsport Games partnered up with Joe Gibbs Racing, right? Joe Gibbs Racing would not give them all the data and telemetry and, like, say, hey, this is how we set up our cars and this and that, because every team has their secrets, and you would never want to do that for the sake of trying to win. Let's look in the article to see what this updated technical partnership will consist of. And it says right here, it will expand Motorsport Games' access to the real-life NASCAR grid throughout the 2022 racing season, including tracks, nuances, and feedback of professional stock car driving and key data at the team's disposal. Motorsport Games already has strong access to NASCAR through its work with the series, but this partnership will serve to increase its ability to communicate with a team on a more intimate level. Throughout the agreement's term, Motorsport Games will be present within the garage for Live Fast Motorsports, opening up a line of communication previously unavailable between racing team personnel and Motorsport Games. Motorsport Games will additionally gain real-time experience and feedback that plans to implement directly into its NASCAR video game franchise, including the ability to make real-time updates into its NASCAR 21 Ignition and future titles, and that overall is designed to provide racing enthusiasts with the most realistic and authentic driving experience on the market. The big key here was real-time updates into NASCAR 21 Ignition. Now, we've never had a NASCAR game with real-time updates. Essentially, what this means is a game that's live service. And I'll be very blunt and clear. I do not want NASCAR 22, NASCAR 21, NASCAR whatever. I don't want these games to be live service games. I don't want Ultimate Team. I don't want live service. I don't want any of it. So I want to make that extremely, extremely clear. The real-time updates that I would like is adjustments to setups and stuff like that. But then we head into another conversation of, well, you don't really want the developers to be really messing with the setups because we want to mess with the setups, you know, aka custom setups. So just make sure that the setups are there and that we could tweak them and however it may be. But essentially, the physics within the game, the code and everything that they are using, a lot of it is used from rFactor 2, that they want that to be as close to the real-life NASCAR as possible. And yes, Motorsport Games has access to certain things because they have the exclusive licensing agreement with NASCAR, so they can get certain data from NASCAR. But to get it from the team is a little bit more important because the team has literally all the data that you would need in order to make the car within the video game to drive however you want it to drive. This does not mean that NASCAR 22 or whatever would become a full-blown simulation, and I don't think this is their goal. I've said this, guys, from the start, and I don't want anyone to mix my words. I think NASCAR 21's launch was horrible. It's obviously a very broken game, and they have no trust within the community. But if you just open your eyes a little bit and you look at forget everything that's wrong with it, just look at the driving. Take a car, go make laps. All right, just look at the driving. It's pretty good. It's much better than anything we've had in NASCAR Heat 5. So being able to take the setups and adjust this stuff in NASCAR 21 and improve on it will be good. But I'll admit, I don't want it to be a full-blown simulation. I don't want it to be anything like iRacing. I know a lot of you guys that don't have iRacing want to get iRacing, but then it's too expensive and you can't put the financial, what you need financially in order to play iRacing, because you would need a PC and a wheel and pedals and then a monthly membership and then all this other stuff, buy all the tracks, all this stuff. It's very expensive. I get it. But the goal for a console game, in my opinion, is always to make it a simcade, not a simulation. A simcade where you can have fun, you can race with friends, but you still get that simulation feel within the driving physics, instead of it being as full-blown sim as possible, like iRacing aims to be. And that's where I think Motorsport games can make a very good breakthrough in the market, and that's what I think they are trying to do. Something else I think that's very important with this updated technical partnership is maybe, and I'm not talking with any knowledge on this, is maybe improving the AI. Maybe I'm trying to figure that out, how that would work with access to all of the data and the telemetry. Essentially, you're trying to get the AI to run certain lap times, do certain things on the track, and I think the AI in NASCAR 21 Ignition is clearly not very good. So that's something that I think is very important to try and work on for future games. And then last but not least, the last thing I'm going to say in this quick video is the setups. So what this technical partnership does is, yes, we'll get essentially a lot of the setups or how the car drives will feel like, whatever data or telemetry they can get from Live Fast Motorsports. But I really, 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 and I haven't seen this in the roadmap, which is why I'm mentioning it, I really, really, really want custom setups. Because, and here's my reasoning, I've played NASCAR 21 Ignition a good amount. And one thing I've always noticed is that the default setups that they currently have in the game, which the developers provide you with, because you're not allowed to change a rear spring or a shock or a sway bar or whatever, right? The custom setups, or the setups that are currently in the game, some tracks are good, but at most tracks, it's not right. And if you're able to actually go down pit road and change the track bar and change some of the air pressures and change the wedge, then you realize, whoa, I can actually make this car drive like how I want it to drive. And so something that's very important to me is, instead of going down the path of we're going to make one setup or 3 default setups or whatever the default setups you want to say, make that the path for everyone to use. I don't like that. It doesn't benefit leagues, it doesn't benefit competitive esports, and it doesn't benefit just, when you want to race, a lot of people are car junkies. They want to set up their car how they want to set up their car. So you want to have custom setups. That's something that's very, very important that I think they really need to do. And also, I said this is definitely the last thing. With the next gen car coming in 2022, remember what NASCAR 21 Ignition has with the Gen 6 car is going to be irrelevant for NASCAR 22. So the physics, the driving, the AI, it's all it's irrelevant. So it's going to be a brand new car. So this updated technical partnership, hopefully, and I don't know if this will happen or not, but hopefully will give Motorsport games the necessary information and the data for the next gen car, because the teams obviously are going to be learning on a race by race basis. And to make a game in time during the year and make sure everything works right and make sure you have a setup for 36 different tracks, or not 36 different tracks, 36 different races, 23, 22 different tracks, whatever the amount of tracks are now, you need to have the right data for the next gen car, or what I like to call Gen 7 nowadays, because it will be the Gen 7 car. And so this was very important for Motorsport games to get that access and that data, because I really think with now just one package across the board, it's going to be the 650 horsepower package across the board. That's going to be something that it should play in a Motorsport game's advantage and help us have a better game, since you don't got to focus on 2 different packages and stuff like that. How does this car drive here, there? One package across the board, get the data and telemetry for it, make sure the car drives how it should, give us the ability to customize the setups, and that is something I want. Quick reminder, guys, so I don't get, a ton of annoying comments. There's still so many problems with this game. We all understand that. Trust me, it's very, very clear. I completely understand it as well. But this, instead of, I say this because I go on Twitter and it's just like a constant, just in the replies, it's like, game's broken. Yeah. And it's like, okay, you're saying the obvious. What does it make you feel better to just hate on things? Cool, hate on it. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's already hated by everyone. You just gotta keep hating on it. It's like watching Cyberpunk all over again, essentially, where a year later people are still hating on that game. They're trying. You gotta at least give them credit for trying. I see the effort there, and all I'm hoping for is that this technical partnership actually improves a certain aspect of the game, which is very important to me, which is the driving. I literally have talked about the driving and the physics for years on this channel with the NASCAR Heat games, and I genuinely see a future with this game where the actual physics they already are in NASCAR 21 Ignition is really good. That does not mean everything else is good, but the actual physics is good. I promise you it's good, and you should be excited for it. Now, whatever they do with everything else, they have to fix that, and that is what it is. But I'm pretty confident that they'll get it done. So that's just my opinion. If they don't, well, damn, we move on. I'm going back to iRacing in February anyways. Don't worry, guys. We're going to have iRacing uploads in February. So we'll see how it goes. I will see you guys later. Take care of yourselves. Comment down below what you think. Is there any other way that maybe I'm missing that they could use this partnership? So I said setups. I said driving physics. I said maybe adjusting the AI and learning as much as they can about the next-gen car. Is there any other way you can use a direct partnership with one of the NASCAR teams in order to make a better game? Do you guys think something can be done in a career mode, but with like via, I don't know, resources, like in owner modes? Can you use some of the stuff that goes on in real life NASCAR, learning from the teams, and put it into a virtual career mode? I mean, is that something maybe they can do? I'm not thinking about any of that right now. I'm thinking about fixing the actual game. But is that something they could think about with a technical partnership? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys tomorrow for we'll go back to a longer video. And yeah, take care. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not already. Subscribe if you're new. We're close to 65,000 subscribers, and I really want to hit 65,000 subscribers. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out.